My boss sent me an email at 4 a.m. for an event I needed to attend by 7 a.m. My workday starts at 8. Now she wants to meet with me tomorrow. My boss is notorious for never reading an email. Over the past year, she has sent me multiple emails asking questions, when the answers could be found in the email she was already responding to. This all came to a head with a conference. She asked me if I wanted to attend a conference and I responded yes. She then asked if I would register everyone for the event. I asked for details about the registration. She forwarded an email with these details, and that email also contained many questions. Knowing her, I asked her if she had responded to those questions. She replied, "What questions?" Literally scroll up and look at the email. Now, having been made aware of these questions by me, she asked me to respond to them. One question was if we wanted to host a booth at the conference, which she said yes. I responded with answers and checked it off my list. She received an email late March stating they hadn't received our registration yet, and that they needed it by April 1st. She forwarded me this communication April 2nd, and asked me to handle it. No, I didn't forget. The conference had a tech issue and I cleared it up. But she sent me the email to handle this after it was already late. This was the last communication I received about this conference until 4 a.m. day of the event. I logged on at the start of my workday at 8 a.m. to see 2 emails from her. One, a forward at 4 a.m., dated over a week prior, with details for setup for the booth and how it started at 7 a.m. Mind you, the conference is an hour drive for me. At 6 a.m., another email, asking if I had everything good to go for our booth. When I logged on at 8 a.m., I replied and said due to not receiving this information until this morning, I would not have time to go back to the office and retrieve the booth materials and still arrive at the conference on time. I shut my computer and drove to the conference. When I arrived, I had a pretty nasty email from her stating she had asked me to handle the booth, so of course we would be having one and that I needed to go back to the office and get it. I replied that I was driving and now arrived at the conference, and that there was a box at the other office, 10 minutes away from the conference, that she could grab on her way in. She did grab it and we had a booth. She came up to me at the conference asking what had gone wrong, and I told her simply that I did not have this information until this morning and planned my workday around the information I had. She has now asked for a meeting with me tomorrow morning. I feel as though she is going to try to place blame on me here, and I don't know how to respectfully tell her this is her fault. She did not provide me the info. She did not ask me to bring anything. She asked me to respond to an email, which I did. I want to express my frustration in how her lack of reading an email has continuously created more work that either gets trashed because she didn't read the info and now has scrapped the project after the work was completely done, or makes me have to make last-minute stressful adjustments for information she had weeks ago and never sent. But I also can't get fired in this job economy. What do I do when she inevitably places the blame of this on me tomorrow? Edit to add, this is an incredibly small company. 20 to 25 people. We do not have an HR and there is no one above her. Update post, April 14, 2025, next day. To clear some things up for those of you claiming I lack initiative, and this was on me, I have started many projects from day one that have been solely on me and my ideas. I've started committees and implemented new marketing that has been wildly successful, simply because I saw the need for it at the org. You also seem to have missed the part where I say I frequently get the go-ahead for projects, but because she didn't read the email fully, after completion of the project she scraps it. I understand that this can look like lack of initiative, but trust me, if you knew all the ins and outs about this organization you would not think that. Many of my co-workers have these same issues with her. It's illogical to blame all of us when the common denominator is her. To those asking why I did not follow up, hindsight is 20/20, and yes, there was more I could do to ensure all ran smoothly, but at the end of the day, that is her job. I already caught many mistakes on this conference alone, like the fact that she didn't even read the questions to begin with. To talk about how jobs require to manage up seems like a way to blame low-level employees for the mistakes of their managers. If you don't have the ability to manage, don't be a manager. Plain and simple. The wording to me was to respond to the questions. After the 4 a.m. email, she claimed she asked me to handle it. Had this been the wording from the beginning, maybe this would have ended differently. Many of you are saying she delegated the entire conference to me, and this was not the case. She asked me to do 2 things, which I did. Not to mention, in the past when I have followed up to ensure she has gotten things done, she responds very irritated as if I am implying she cannot do her job. This conference is not the typical place we would host a booth for, so after completing my task, it left my brain. It was also outside of my normal scope of work. I've had many managers who are great at their job, and I love being able to take stuff off their plate and make their day easier. I cannot do that with someone who does not communicate and does not manage. To those asking why I didn't call her instead of emailing and leaving, she was in a meeting and I had to leave within 5 minutes to attend the conference on time. To those saying if she's responding to emails at 4 a.m. she must be swamped with work, so give her a break, she frequently boasts about how she works unusual hours. It is normal for me to wake up with many emails from her during that time and not be able to reach her in the afternoon. No, I am not an on-call employee. All in all, with how frequently she doesn't read emails, this was bound to happen one day, so it's frustrating that many of you are blaming me and expecting me to magically know the details of emails I never received. But I do appreciate your perspective. Now to the conversation. It went very well for what it was. I built it up in my head based on previous experiences with her. There still seemed to be some notions of her trying to blame me and saying she had handed this off to me, and so she didn't look at her other emails related to it, thinking I had it handled. She said her perspective was that I would be the point of contact. And I told her I didn't feel that expectation was received. I explained that I had done the things she asked and was unaware that the expectation was for me to be a point of contact and therefore did not relay that info to them and never received further communication. I said going forward it would be helpful that when I bring up the things I am working on at our one-on-ones, that is my exhaustive list, and if there is something on there she is thinking I am handling that I did not mention, I need to be aware of the expectation to complete that project. And that this will help us be on the same page about expectations. I didn't say this, but on my end, I thought that was the entire point of a one-on-one and am wondering why she hasn't been doing that all along. Why didn't she bring up this conference at previous one-on-ones when I didn't say it was on my list? She mentioned something about how she doesn't want to micromanage and just lets everyone run with things. In my opinion, this is a cop-out to not be a manager at all. You can effectively manage without being a micromanager. I told her I don't need someone to micromanage me, I just need clear communication of what is expected of me. If you want me to be handling a project, and not just a quick task for it, I need to be told that I am in charge of the project. I don't see that as micromanaging. Overall, although the convo went better than expected, I'm still frustrated because she seems oblivious to her role in all this. To her fairness, she did ask me to come to her with things she is doing that upset me, but I genuinely don't know how to respectfully tell me boss to just read emails because she constantly misses details. And, in a previous experience, when told to come to superiors with issues, I did, and they let me go. It wasn't a job, but for the purposes of this, it works. So I don't exactly feel confident telling her things she's doing wrong. Immediately after my meeting, my coworker told me about issues she was having with her because of the inability to slow down and read an email. It takes us so much more time to go back and forth in communication than if she were to just read it the first time. I would have felt a lot better at the end if she had owned up to how she didn't properly communicate with me, because I still feel like she blames me for this on her end. Hopefully things will get better moving forward because this is really the only negative thing about my job. The pay, flexibility, schedule, and healthcare are all fabulous, and I don't want to lose that finding a new job, so I've been toughing it out. I'm trying to have a positive outlook, but these frustrations have been building for so long I'm having a hard time being optimistic. Thank you for everyone who validated my feelings and gave me advice. And thank you to those who provided other perspectives respectfully. I do appreciate seeing the other side when it's not presented in a rude manner.